She said, "No." And seconds later, he walked out with a gun. October 25th, 2016, late afternoon, Greensburg, Indiana. The film opens with a stark image. A police station illuminated under an October sky. Jason Eaton calmly walks in, a man in his late 20s, composed, clutching his coat, and asks to speak to an officer. "Jason, I killed my girlfriend." Wendy Sabatini, age in her early 30s, lived quietly in Greensburg, loved by her teenage son. She juggled work and motherhood, described by friends as caring, nurturing her son's entire world. They built a modest life, yet underlying normalcy hid unresolved tension. On October 24th, Jason arrived at Wendy's home with a ring. Intent on asking a question every man hopes she'll say yes to, Jason kneels before Wendy in their bedroom, ring in hand. But before he fully asks, she interrupts. "Wendy, no." A single word. No recorded audio, only Jason's later confession. The silence afterward was deafening. The ring remained unslipped. Wendy's no hung in the air, a refusal that shattered everything. Moments later, Jason retrieved a gun from her nightstand. In the next instant, it fired. One shot. Single, fatal. Evidence discovery. Police recovered a .38 caliber revolver from the bedroom. The bullet wound was at the crown of her head. Jason calmly left the bedroom, descending to the living room, where Wendy's son sat eating dinner. The boy, unaware, believed his mother was at work. Soon, police would arrive to a single gunshot and Jason's chilling confession. October 25th, 6 p.m., police department. Jason told the officers exactly what happened. The weapon, the refusal, the moment it all went wrong. At the police station, detectives book him and begin formal questioning. Jason outlines a timeline. Proposed, rejected, retrieved gun, concealed motive. Eaton said that he then retrieved a firearm and moved behind Sabatini. The gun fired. He admitted decisively that she declined before he asked, making this an unambiguous turning point. Forensics confirmed bullet trajectory, gun fingerprints, and absence of defensive wounds. The evidence mirrors his confession. Jason awaits arraignment. The community reels. A mother gunned in her own home after saying no. Interviews reveal shock among friends and family. No previous threats, no signs of extreme possessiveness, but now, grief and disbelief surface. Inner thoughts, voice over Wendy's son, forever changed Jason, consumed by regret or relief. A psychological court of public opinion forms outside the courtroom. Just as authorities prepare charges, new revelations emerge. Were there other fights? Was there a secret she kept? One comment that cut deeper than no? November 2016. Discovery of digital messages hinting at tension. Did Jason kill only because she refused? Or did something else trigger him? The story pauses. What else was he hiding? The camera lingers on an empty bedroom. The ring still where it fell. A mother's closet, now full of unanswered questions. Inner thoughts. Wendy's son, the ring, and the moment everything changed are all that's left. A life that ended in an instant, all because of one devastating word. Silence. Fade to black. The sentence shocks Greensburg. Wendy's sister describes her as strong-willed. She stood her ground, and wonders how rejection could ever bring that end. Sun Lake, now a senior, grapples publicly with trauma. "I already knew. She just didn't want to get married again." Local respect swells. Wendy was a devoted mother, grandmother, and hard worker in an auto parts plant alongside Jason. The grieving community unites. But questions remain. Court documents, among them the probable cause affidavit, hint at deeper friction. The yes or no ultimatum, the rushed proposal, the stored firearm. Jason told police it was a moment of panic. Eaton said the gun fired, but was it truly impulsive or premeditated? Investigators unearthed messages between Jason and a close friend. He teased about getting the ring out soon, a fixation mounting. Post-shooting, he messaged, "I messed up." These texts reveal a man spiraling between anticipation and remorse. Fox13SeattlePeople.com. Could jealousy or control have driven him deeper than rejection? Or was this truly a single flash of violence? Experts are called to analyze. Was Jason's confession heartfelt or a strategic move? Could Wendy's refusal have triggered deeper insecurities? Fear of abandonment or rage at being denied control? Her son, Lake, fears this. His mom wasn't meek. She was resolute and unafraid to say no. The tension between legal fact and emotional truth tightens. Only one bullet ended a life, but many bullets carried emotional weight. The trial ends. Jason jailed. Wendy remembered. But the emotional wound, especially for her son, remains open. Experts weigh in. This isn't a rare crime, but an extreme example of entitlement. A partner who couldn't accept no. Community groups launch initiatives about domestic violence and the red flags of dating coercion. He confessed, "I messed up," but sometimes messed up hides a world of warning signs. Are we looking at a moment of madness or the collapse of a relationship built on control? The truth lies waiting beneath the surface. Following sentencing, investigators and family members revisit Wendy and Jason's relationship. Whispered rumors surface. Heated arguments, sudden mood shifts, and moments of withdrawal. While no formal restraining orders existed, neighbors recall tension. They were good people. Hard to see something like this happen. Psychologists highlight how relationship coercion can escalate silently. What begins as control often turns fatal. Could this have been more than a single impulsive act? In a parallel investigation, a detective reviewing digital backups makes a disturbing find. Unnamed voicemails on Wendy's phone. They capture a tense post-engagement argument, and Jason's voice agitated. "If you say no again, you'll regret it." The authenticity is under forensic review. But if real, these recordings paint a chilling premeditation far more sinister than a flash of rage. Wendy's son, Lake, refuses comment. He stares at his mother's old bedroom, now empty, the ring still visible on her dresser. Her sister Heather shares. "I would never have seen this side of him, but I guess you never really know." The loved ones, torn between grief and disbelief, hope the recordings will clarify, yet fear the darkness they might confirm. The prosecution weighs whether to reopen lines of inquiry. Could these voicemails constitute evidence of threats or coercion? Or will defense argue they're harmless snippets taken out of context? The community holds its breath. Will these findings shift a verdict or only deepen the wound? Months into Jason's incarceration, a cold case unit is assigned to re-examine the investigation. Detectives pull all reports, scene photos, phone records, digital backups. Lead detective. Inner thought something isn't adding up. They notice a detail that flew under the radar. Wendy's phone automatically backed up to the cloud just minutes after the shooting, potentially preserving data Jason thought destroyed. Investigators access Wendy's cloud backup and uncover 2 deleted text messages from the day of the incident, retrieved via digital forensic tools. Message number 1, sent at 3:42 p.m. We'll discuss the ring later. Message number 2, sent at 4:10 p.m. Are you drunk? These texts contradict the timeline Jason described. The timestamp of her last known activity shifts the timeline by at least 30 minutes. If Wendy was active after 4:10 p.m., Jason's claim, he shot her immediately after proposal. Opens room for questions. Did he go downstairs, pause, deliberate? As detectives reconstruct the afternoon. 1. Wendy texts at 4:10 p.m., half an hour after the supposed proposal. 2. Jason claims he shot moments after she said no. 3. The phone's active status contradicts his version, suggesting time unaccounted for. This puts Jason's confession under scrutiny. Was the killing truly impulsive, or a calculated act after a pause? Detectives confront Jason's attorneys with the cloud data. The defense pushes back, arguing backups weren't admissible, were corrupted, or could be misinterpreted. But the timeline discrepancy opens a new door, investigation into premeditation. They've uncovered new calls, and Wendy's phone still talked after the ring fell silent. Now the question is, what did Jason do during that missing half hour? In the silence of those lost minutes, did he plan a quiet murder? Or is the timeline deliberately tampered? We're about to find out. Prosecutors file a motion to admit the cloud backup, including the deleted text and that 4:10 p.m. activity, insisting they prove Wendy's phone was active long after Jason's claimed timeline. Defense counters with motions to suppress, raising questions of digital privacy and consent. Courtroom tension peaks as both sides spar over whether cloud data can rewrite the story of the fatal afternoon. Lake Sabatini testifies in a trauma counselor session submitted to court records. He speaks softly. "I kept thinking she was fine until my world collapsed at dinner." Therapists say he developed post-traumatic anxiety, haunted by unresolved questions. The courtroom listens in silence. No visual, just his trembling voice over the speaker system. The local media catch on. Is this a tragic, impulsive shooting, or murder hiding behind a chaotic timeline? Two public rallies form, one demanding justice for Wendy, the other urging caution. Let the law handle the digital gap. Psychologists warn the risk. Without clarity, the Sabatini family may never find peace. As a judge enters chambers, murmurs echo. Prosecution. We now have an audio backup. A video from a neighbor's Ring doorbell just processed. Defense. We request another evidentiary hearing. The screen fades to black as a clerk whispers. Judge's ruling in 48 hours. Timestamp. April 2018. The judge delivers a hardline decision. Deleted text and cloud backup are admissible, rejecting defense objections on technical grounds. This sets a pivotal legal precedent. Prosecutor. Ms. Sabatini's phone didn't stop talking. Her messages matter. Defense. This is digital overreach, confirmation bias masquerading as fact. With the 4:10 p.m. text admitted, courtroom visuals contrast Jason's confession with phone timestamps. Chart appears. Jason's version versus actual phone activity. Legal analysts lean hard. If it wasn't impulsive, it may have been planned. Outside the courthouse, emotions boil over. Supporters for Wendy chant. Tell the whole truth. Jason's family counters. Justice, not sensationalism. Media coverage intensifies. This story is broken beyond Greensburg. With cloud data now admissible, forensic analysts dig deeper. They reconstruct. Location pings. Wendy's phone moved downstairs at 4:25 p.m., minutes after her final text. Last outgoing call. At 4:27 p.m., when he briefly called an unknown number, no voicemail left. This unexpected movement and call contradict Jason's earlier timeline. Prosecutors suspect there was another interaction before the shooting, a confrontation he didn't disclose. Courtroom visuals overlaid Jason's statements with forensic phone data. Expert. The phone's movement shows when he was alive and mobile well after he says she lay shot. Prosecutor. He lied. This wasn't a single moment of rage. It's a planned kill. Jason's attorney objects vehemently. Location pings are imprecise. That call could have been accidental. We need clarity. Our client's life depends on this interpretation. Technology versus confession. A stark divide emerges. Confidence in tech. Prosecutors argue digital breadcrumbs don't lie. Reliance on confession. Defense clings to Jason's filmed admission and physical evidence corroborating his impulse narrative. Case summary. Jason Eaton and Wendy Sabatini. Incident. On October 25, 2016, Jason Eaton, age 43, turned himself into Greensburg, Indiana police, admitting he fatally shot his girlfriend, Wendy Sabatini, in the head after she declined his marriage proposal. Immediate events. Eaton had previously gone to Wendy's home intending to propose. After she said no, he retrieved a .38 caliber revolver from the nightstand and, standing behind her on the bed, fired once, striking crown her head and killing her instantly. Aftermath and confession. He left the bedroom, went downstairs where Wendy's teenage son was eating dinner, then drove to a friend's house, saying, "I messed up. I think I killed her," before strolling into the police station to confess. What's confirmed? The proposal happened. The refusal occurred before he formally asked, and the shooting was intentional from behind. Jason admitted guilt immediately. No prolonged escape or hidden crime scene retrieval. No prior restraining orders or public domestic disturbances. But investigators later probed digital evidence, texts, and backups. What's still unresolved? Whether the shooting was entirely impulsive or calculated after a delay. What the deleted digital messages, voicemails, and possible Ring doorbell footage reveal. Whether new evidence might shift legal interpretation toward premeditation. Forensic breakthrough. 60:00. 63:00. Forensic analysts uncover a hidden fragment in the phone call made at 4:27 p.m. Though the call was brief and disconnected, they managed to recover a 3-second audio clip, initially unintelligible, but now partially cleaned up. A voice is heard. Wendy's voice, saying a single chilling sentence. "Jason, don't do this." The room grows silent. Evidence of dire confrontation moments before the fatal shot. Courtroom maelstrom, 63:00, 66:00. Prosecution seizes a moment. This clip transforms a narrative from ambiguous timelines to a command, a conflict, and a potential warning. Prosecutor. She knew danger. She pleaded, and he ignored her. Defense counters. The audio is too fragmented. Context is missing, just noise in a chaotic minute. The jury is left hanging between a plea for caution and a plea for conviction. Emotional ripple effect, 66:00, 67:00. Inside the courtroom gallery, Lake Sabatini stands, tears streaming, as he hears the distant echo of his mother's voice. Lake, inner thought whispers she tried to save us, and he silences her. Outside, community vigils grow quieter. People speak in hushed tones. That voice had mattered.